Time again. Every Saturday at this time, we are sharing knowledge with you. And today, this particular topic was brought by a client, and they have just gone through a big fiasco about spam and lost so much money and the work hours because the system was down and they have to pay $8,000 some ransom to get their system restored. So it was a humongous undertaking. And so the idea is that how do a smart business person to know that this is spam? This is cyber attacks. They're not normal. They should not happen. So what we want to do is to do a little deep diving for you and to understand how the spams come about, why they come about. So what do they normally do? And then give you the idea of how to protect yourself, especially as a small business. You just cannot afford that. If you have that happen, that could take your business down, right? So let's get going with our planned content today is understand spam calls and attacks. All right. Community CPA is your CPA firm. We always say that our name says about us. We are really rooted in the community. So, we always say that as a company, as an organization, and what we are taking care of are three group of people, three group of communities. Number one is our professional staff, our people within the firm. We take care of each other. I take care of them to make sure that we are all together supporting each other. Then it's our client. It's our second group of support we give to. We support our clients and we make sure that you are taken care of. As this one, we deliver a webinar so you understand spams. You understand when you get attacked and what do you do, right? Then the third group is the community we are rooted in. We have 5 different branches, so every branch has a community around them. And we want to make sure that we have this thought of shared prosperities. Shared prosperities just simply means that you share the knowledge among yourself, among the group, among these 3 communities you're talking about, and you also share wealth. And you pay people way above minimum wages. And you give your client the best quality services that money cannot even buy. And then you go to prosper and your communities because your client will bring up the community around you. And you, through your employees, will prosper your community as well. So that shared prosperity is a real heaven, right? It is something we felt deeply into the organizational spirit. So Community CPA, that's how we stand for our name, Community CPA, and not somebody else's last name to be a CPA firm. With that said, and that gives you enough about our firm, and we always give our knowledge to here. That's a YouTube channel. And you know how we did this webinar today right now with you, and you will see that in this hub. So go to YouTube channel, type Community CPA, come to our site, subscribe to our channel. That will give you a notification every time what we're talking about. I want to bring to you a slide, which is a Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit. And I know, of course I know, this immigrant is just so controversial right now, and some people think it's negative, some people think it's victim, some people think it is just, better not to mention that word. But this Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit has been in existence for 18 years. So this is 2025. We have that in Minnesota on June 6th. So what we do in that very day is to connect business owners. If you don't know anything about a business, but you are in business, not like Baron Trump, right? His dad is in business, so he knows a lot of business. Your dad is not in business, and your mom and dad may be professors or teachers, and they are not in business. They're not entrepreneur. You need to learn business just like someone is new. That Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit is really a place where you know how to get connected with people, knows how to bring up small businesses, new businesses, business owners who doesn't know anything about business. They come over here, they learn. One of the seminar I will teach on June 6th at Minnesota IES event, I teach asset protections. So you worked hard, made a lot of money. You worked hard, had a lot of asset. You had your house, you had your car, things like that. And was that protected? What happened if something happened to you? You die? You got deported? Or you got issues with your immigration visa, so you were put outside of the country, what you are going to do with your asset here in U.S. So we will talk about that, and I give out 6 steps for people to learn how to protect their asset. So I want to give a quick advertising on 2025 Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit in Minnesota. It is at the address of that place is 6202 Bloomington Road, Fort Snelling, Minnesota. Right? You can check on the website iesusa.org. This is a nonprofit organization, and find out where that IES is happening in Minnesota. All right. I wrote 2 books, and I should be finishing 4 books in total. I'm working on the 3rd one, but that 4 books is a business journey. You start, you grow, you expand, and you retire. So that is the 4 books that I'm working on. I'm still working on the 3rd one. The reality is I'm not done with expanding community CPA, so I'm not sure I really can call myself pounding on my chest because I got it done, I expanded. I'm not there yet. And that's why the number 4 book is nowhere to be found, because there's no pages in there yet. Don't know what that would mean to retire. But I'm doing the 3rd one, and I give you collecting data from my own life and as well as my other entrepreneurs, how we expand the business. No responsibility disclaimers, and this is Community CPA providing these seminars to help you gaining knowledge and learning Chinglish. If you hear me long enough, you catch them. You need to digest what you learned and use it through your body process. You can't just use it without yourself understanding it, okay? All right, you understand what I'm doing here. So let's look at these spam calls. You might be amazed of how organized they are, how sophisticated they are in terms of tricking people, right? And, I'll cover that our clients, there's a whole slew of people who have gone through these threads. And one time I got an urgent call from a client goes, they're going to shut down my utility. I'm driving in. Can you just go ahead and write a check and they will come in to pick it up because my utility bill was not paid. And we are their accountant. We always knew their utility bill was ACH'd out of their account. When he talked like that, it make us think that he's getting a spam call. Then, of course, when I said, well, that may be spam because your utility was automatically drawn out of your account. You don't owe $8,000 some dollars. Don't think that's right. You know what our client would say? Oh, you are right. Oh, they're so good at tricking me. I really believe them. See? They're good. They're trained. So the global rise in call centers are the reason why spam calls are so professionally done. Because over the past 10 years, a lot of call center was developed in India, in other countries. So people at a low-cost region are becoming your call center people that answer your question when you call. So when they answer your question, when you call, that means they're getting trainings, right? So they are trained to know how to speak American English. They got trained to know about American situations so they can answer your question. So these kind of training had really enabled some scammer organization to also set up similar kind of operation and to start to mimic the legitimate business model to start doing spam calls. India is the home to a thriving business process outsourcing kind of industry. A lot of call centers are in India. They are all legit. They are all proper. And a QuickBook at one time, when you call QuickBook, their help center is in India. The people are speaking more like a British English to you, and you kind of can recognize that accent, right? But nowadays, with AI development, this accent is not there anymore. They can take your accent away by AI processing the way you talk. How do you know this is my real voice, my dear? Because my voice maybe sound like something very different. But the AI will process it so nicely, and you felt like, oh yeah, that's Ying's voice. Maybe not, right? I'm just exaggerating. I've been doing this for already almost 5 years. So you can go back to my first webinar and see whether my voice was that way at that time. I'm pretty sure you'll find it's the same. What I am trying to prove to you is it can be done without me being here. Maybe today what you see is actually not me. It is the image of me with the AI process talking point. So that is the call center. That is the spam calls. Those are the ones, they may not even be a real person calling you in the very beginning, speaking perfect English. I love British accent. I personally love to learn British accent. I just don't have the time. I have a collection of audio tapes of the novels. They are read in British accent because at one time I was going to learn how to speak English in British accent. I was told it is more similar to the Chinese mouth structure. Like you know how you grow, you're Chinese, so you got your tongue, your cheeks, and everything is structured a little differently than Western, than Caucasians. So the accent actually, British accent, actually helping those kind of structures. That's what I was told, and I don't know whether that's true or not, but I do know a lot of Chinese people speaking English with a very natural British accent. So I have seen that a lot. And remember, and I lived in Canada, I recognize all the accent. I am so good with accent. You speak, I know where you're coming from. Those are my days in Canada. And I lose a little bit that ability because in Midwest, there's not much of an accent. Other than you speak English or you speak Chinglish, it's just two choices, right? The victim for those spam calls are individuals, businesses, and even large corporation. I say that because ourselves, community CPA, has fallen as a victim for these kind of attack. It's not a spam call, but it's a cyber attack. So I'll give you more details on how things happen, but just to say that it's a part of business development. So because of those call centers and the business process outsourcing industry growing outside of US, so that give a chance for people outside of US, not in this continent, know how to operate, know how to simulate, and know how to cheat. They are not regulated by whatever laws we have here in US. This is very reason why community CPA do not outsource anything to anywhere outside of our boundaries here in the country. Because I knew once the data goes outside of US, they subject to different law and the regulations, and you may not like that. Your individual situation, your individual social security number and EIN number might be used by these other spam centers in India. This is why, QuickBook and a lot of government agencies went to India to set up call center. And you recall, for the last maybe 5 years ago, it was a mushroomed up about the IRS collecting money from taxpayers and their spam calls. They dial your number with a 212 number is from Washington, D.C. The only way for some of our clients recognized as a spam is because their Indian accent. And that's just really unfortunate. Why do we associate that Indian accent with spam? Because there's so many. There's so many. So with that, let's just kind of understand, why should business owner care about these spam calls? It is very important. The risk is huge. They're not just about spamming you and you go, no, thank you, bye, you're done. No, it is much more profound than that. They can, the data breach through phishing and social engineering, that is a big one. When you pick up the call, and I'm calling Ying at a community CPA, I answer, this is Ying. Yes, this is community CPA, and what would you like to do? And that is already giving out the data information. And with that confirmation, phishing can happen. With that confirmation, social engineering can be conducted, so someone would do business outside of me and using my name to send messages. Did that happen? Yes, that happened. Yes, that happened. I had a client was telling me that they got my social media post and they know clearly it was not me. So there you go, right? Financial fraud via fake invoice or tech support scams. So bigger businesses getting a lot of invoice. And your payables just paying invoices. One invoice comes, technical support, and from a reputable company, Global One Technical Support. That sounds so legit. What happened? It's a fake invoice, and you pay? Yeah. You pay and you being frauded. And the most recent one I see, I even have to pause and wait for a little bit to think whether this would be a spam or not. That was a text message coming to my phone because I just went to Houston, Texas, came back. The text message go, you have failed to pay the, what do you call this, the road tax? I forgot the toll charge. So it's not a lot. It's like, $3.75. So pay it, click this button, and I am just looking at the where I did not pay because I don't remember I had that issue. And I also know that when I we have this pay everywhere kind of device, so I shouldn't be getting something like that. That is the only reason why I looked into it, realized it is a spam. But a lot of people, $3.50, just come back from that city. I don't know what that is. Maybe I did. Just pay it. Be done. Are you sure? It is not done. You pay it online, so you give them your credit card, and you tell them to charge. Then that information will go on to be charged God knows where. So these are important spams that you need to really pay attention to. And just understand that everything you give up online, it is online. And even if you give to the right legit person in the business, but there can be interference in between the data transmission, so your data will be leaked, right? All right. Reputational damage, of course, is a big deal. And I have seen so many CPA firms, so many, and sending client letter. Oh, sorry, we got a data breach and your data might be, lost. Because the insurance company would force them to do that. They are losing document and losing information of their clients to some spam organization. And community CPA, we are so proud of ourselves. We never even have anything remote like that, nothing like that. We are very tight, very safe with what we do. So this is a reputation. And 2 years ago, our firm was listed as a top 10 technology advanced CPA firm in the country. So we knew what we're doing. And we safeguard our antenna. We protect our clients under this golden dome. That's President Trump's term, okay? And many business owners underestimate the sophistication of these scams. Yeah, you think they're just coming out of their basement and doing this to you? You are wrong. They are in a high-rise building with expensive look, and they are among those top moneymakers. Billions were made out of these spam. They are organized. They are organized. They are a real business at other country. Know that it's a real business, okay? And they're making money. They're paying taxes at the other country as well, because their job is to just fraud Americans. So you want to know that they are a business from outside to inside, and you want to recognize that. Don't look down at how sophisticated they are. They are very advanced. All right, so there are call centers, right? Legal, legitimate, not legitimate. So the legitimate call centers are set up by the American entrepreneurs. The business, they went to India, set up the legitimate call center. They operating under very strict compliance and data protection regulation, and they often are ISO certified. But it doesn't prevent people from that country and to mimic the real operation and start designing and producing professional scripts, train agents, And you may wonder, how could these people even live with themselves? They do fraudulent stuff to people. Don't ask me. I don't understand that either, but they don't lack of anybody working there. You will find a lot of people working there. So they all appear to be very presentable. And if you want to see them on Zoom, they look very professional. So please do not underestimate illegal call centers. They are preying on you, and they want you to see them. They want you to experience them because they're so professional, and you would never doubt you are being spammed. A lot of those scammers are also coordinating. They share resources with the legitimate call centers. So they are also stealing those illegitimate call centers. They're stealing those employees from those well-trained legal call centers. So there is a lot of that going on in foreign country, ladies and gentlemen, and you know that in America, and these type of businesses cannot last. They will be caught and they will be shutting down. But outside of U.S. is not what President Trump can do. It is there, but they don't have any guardrails to reach in to you. If you're not educated, you start to feel, there is no way you know who is scammers, and who is not. So how your business could lose money out of these scammers, this is right here. So you normally, if you have a business and you get spammed, it is the very first focus is financial losses. The scams can lead to unauthorized transaction, right? The fake service charge, ransomware attack. So you can't operate, you can't open your computer anymore unless you pay some ransom, right? And we talk about reputation damage. That's the ultimate. At the end, it is repetition. Operational disruption is guaranteed. If you don't come up with your $8,000, then you're just not going to be able to log into your computer anymore, cannot log into your computer, cannot see your database. Then how are you knowing which client need to be served, which one is not, right? We're so relying on the computer. Even if your business didn't outsource yourself, like our firm, we don't outsource, but that doesn't mean our customer won't be targeted. They can still be targeted. Our clients still be targeted. Our vendor can still be targeted. So nobody is safe. Just you business don't outsource only means that maybe is a little safer measure, just because what you have doesn't go outside in the database to be used by other people. The scammers often impersonate themselves like the support people, and like the one who solve your problem so easily, so quickly, and or creating a very sensitive situation. You don't have time to think, you have to react. Something like, we are going to shutting down your utilities in the next 5 minutes if we don't see you producing a copy of your check, or go to wire the money to the utility company, to us. This is our account number, right? So this is what your business face, and you want to prevent that financial loss. So you may want to ask me, Ying, in your 30 years practice, what is the biggest loss your client had, you knew, and caused by scam? $500,000. That's the biggest one. And it's not even very old. It's maybe about a year ago. And a young man invested in a company, and when he told me that, and because he was looking for a lawyer from Singapore, and because that investment is in Singapore. And so I understand, I was asking how he got involved to it, and he was telling me that he was giving me all these screenshots of the credentials of the company. That's how he was so sure to invest, and the return was promised so great. And you don't get 35% of return anywhere in USA. That's what he told me. Can you get 35% of return and in any of the investment you have done? My answer to him is that, number one, I haven't really done much of an investment. Number two, even if I do, I am not going to invest in Singapore. I have nobody, no relative in that country. I just have some clients are from that country, and that's about it. And so he did. And he is an American boy, grow up in U.S., has nothing to do with Singapore, and he lost $500,000. I did try very hard to find lawyers because I do have clients from Singapore, so we got some local lawyers, and we were told clearly that was a total spam. The building, the address was there, but not for this business, so it is a total chaos, $500,000. And that $500,000 is the lifelong saving. Of course, he's young, but that's all the money he has. All the money he has. So I can imagine that maybe that is all the money the parents gave to him. So very sad. One of our clients. So that's real. Common scam type. Tech support scam. And I don't know whether you experienced that. Someone call you saying they're from Microsoft, and your Microsoft license is expiring very soon, but to pay no money, and let me log on to your system. We have a free 30 days extension for you. Would you like that? Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, accept me. I'm on your screen, and you did, and there you go. Whatever on your computer, including your bank account, everything, and your family photos, great. And you know what can happen to your family photos? Next thing you know, one of your kid will be on internet, and it will be sold to some human traffickers, and then the human trafficker was paying money to get this boy and didn't get it, and then it will land it on your head because they know this is your boy, they know who you are, and they know your address. This is not funny. This is how things are going behind the normal people's back. We are not criminals, so it's really a little hard for us to imagine things. I try my best with all of these scams, spams, and all of these criminal acts out there that we learn from our client, and we try to put together a picture. If we don't educate you, we want to scare you. Because only if we scare you, and you will be more focused on doing it right, on preventing yourself from fall into this kind of victim. And I have a doctor client giving $2.5 million to a spam. And it took literally, I worked on the case with him for maybe 2 years. Then after that, and he continued worked on it, it took about 6 years to actually capture that person in China. And I don't know whether the person went to jail or not, finally know who did that. It's just very stupid to fall into the $2.5 million. You don't want to be a victim. So with that said, do not try to let people install software on your computer, and don't even put your sensitive data on your computer. Why? You don't have a brain, you cannot remember. And if you have a password, and can you just not put them all together in one file with a username, password? Maybe you can put username in one place and a password in another place. Would that be helpful? So these are the things you got to make a choice. Of course, some of those username, password is not important one time. You don't care. But if it is related to your financial data, related to your identity, and you probably want to do something a little more than just, put it on your hard drive or on your screensavers. And I have seen people saving all their password on the screen, on the login screen. It's just so convenient for you, and it's also very convenient for the scammers. If they log into your computer, they see that immediately. IRS tax authority scams. That one, I actually even experienced it myself. I, of course, know it was spam, but when he called, he goes, is this Ying? Oh, yes, it's Ying. And I'm calling from IRS, and my ID number, blah, 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 and I need to talk to you. Okay, fine. And do you know that you owe $250,000 taxes from, this is quite some time ago, it says about 3 years ago or whatever. And we have been trying to reach you and was not able to. And the IRS had a new regulation come out, and this will give 50% of discount on the amount you owe. And do you want to take that advantage today to pay half of what you owed from before? I was like pretending to be very excited. I am like, you are godsend. I was like losing sleep over this money for so many years. And can you just tell me, if you give me 50% of discount, and what would that fund to be, and how am I going to pay? I want to do it today. And of course, the other party, very retained, very calm, as like, yes, ma'am, we need to verify your identity first, because we can't just believe you are who you are. And what's your birthday? What's your social security number? And then I told him, oh, you're calling from IRS, you asking me about that? And can you just ask me what is the third number of my social security number? Or what is my middle name, if I have any? So you don't see that on your file? And then he start to, ramble. Then he start to tell me things that clearly he's from India, doesn't understand how American life is. So, but it's kind of fun to play, but you want to not fall to this, okay? And they do come out with a DC number, 212 sometimes, so make you feel like they're calling from DC, but no, they're actually calling from Bombay, India. And they actually, the FBI closed down a huge call center, fraudulent center in India, Bombay, and captured these fraudsters. So that's why the spam call for IRS was greatly reduced, if you notice that. And that was the center are doing that. And of course, there's other type of spam called business impersonation scams. So the scammer poses as a vendor or client, your client, or even internal staff. I have to tell you this. I had one of the Saturday, our office open on Saturday. So one of the Saturday, it's just me and another staff at the front desk. This person is no longer with our firm. So she got a call, and the person, the scammer said that, this is no, she didn't get a call. She got an email from me saying that, okay, go to the drugstore, Walgreens, and purchase $100 gift card for 5 of them. And I like to, it's urgent. I'm in the meeting right now. Please go to do that, and let me know when you're done. So she went because I was in the office, so she think I was going to buy those gift cards and give out as a award to staff. So he went, he bought 5, and emailed back. I got it. And then the email says, please give me the number in there and scratch the thing and tell me the number behind that code. So she did all of that. And then this person disappeared. So she didn't know what that means because she was just following the instruction because she thought it was me giving her that instruction. The whole time, I was like less than 5 meters away from her. My office is there, and she was at the front desk. And then she came over, goes, Ying, you got it? I said, I got what? You got actually not even 500, it was 700 total. You got the $700 gift card? What gift card? I think I got spammed. That's what she said. So look, smart people fall for stupidest things. It's just like unbelievable. But by the way, I did pay her back that $700 she spent out of her own personal fund, and the thinking is doing me a favor. I just couldn't believe it. But if my staff who works in the community CPA, at minimum, they had a bachelor degree, and they do these kind of things, you can imagine who else out there gonna fall to these spams? A lot of people. So this spammer impersonated me to ask for money, so you don't fall for that, okay? And I also had a client who was telling me that called me midnight, saying that, Ying, are you okay? I said, yes, I'm okay. He goes, I got a text saying that you lost your purse and you needed money. And I said, oh my God, it's a spam. And how did they even get a hold of my name? How did they know that you know me? So I don't get that. But this is the world we live in. So please, and you need to be vigilant, and you need to know that people can use other people's name to do things to you, and don't trust if you don't see that person in front of you and you don't trust. The technology are so advanced, and people can even come to you, goes, you need to come to this car, and your husband need you. And so you say, well, I didn't talk to my husband yet, and do you have his messages? How did you know? So they can show you on the cell phone, and with your husband leaving a voicemail, and with the picture of your husband almost like he's talking. So these are technology fool you. So the best principle is that if you are going to spend money, you better shake that person's hand. Figure out how to do that. And the bigger the amount is, the more real handshake need to happen. So that would be the principle for our business owners, okay? All right. Then, of course, the bank card, credit card is a big deal. That is also a lot of scam is on there. And one time, my credit card showed a Uber delivery, Uber food ordering. It's like $700 some. I knew there is no way, even if my whole firm order food together, And it would not be 700 some dollars like that. So in fact, during the tax season, when we order food for staff, we order by branches. So never gonna be $700. 500 is most. But we got Uber Eats like that, so I know that is a spam. So I quickly respond and stop. Then guess what? Next day is another one coming in. So it is issue with my credit card. So I close out the credit card and just prevent that scam to happen again. So you want to know that these are the things you do have to watch your transaction. I don't care how good your business is, how busy you are, but watching through your transactions as a habit would help you to prevent some scary moment that would descend upon you. Lottery prices scams are also popular. I do have a client and coming in and said that he won $3.5 million lotteries from another state. So my question, when he said that he won lottery from another state, I asked him, were you at the other state? How did you win lottery from the other state? He kind of paused a little bit, say he doesn't know, but he won it. He know he won it. So he was showing me all the notifications, official seals, and all of that stuff. So I said, okay, fine. So why do you need to talk to me? And he said, because the lottery people wanting to get hold of his ID. So he did not want to report the lottery winning under his personal name. So he doesn't remember his business EIN number. So the reason he come to us is because he wants to know what is EIN number of his business and the legal name. So he will just going to give that information to the lottery company, to the company who said that he won the prize. Then he also told me I need to send these things in to the place. Also, I need to attach a $3,500, just 1% of the amount I won for processing fee. Then I also need to give them the bank account. And he didn't even have the bank account at the time, so he was asking me, can you help? Can your attorney here help me to do a banking resolution so I can set up a bank account? Because I want to get that done right away so I can get the $3.5 million. And so we did digging for him. And there's no such a thing. So the scammer had spent some energy to produce documentation looks real, but they want to make that $3,500 from him. That's all. So don't fall for that. You know what? I never believed in luck. I know a lot of people win lotteries. I don't buy it because I never really will win, and I have never done. I have never won anything, even though I tried little. My total gambling loss is $18, and I am 60 years old. My total gambling loss is $18, and I told myself that if I lose, I am done for life. So I went to Las Vegas for many times, and going back to the airport, sometimes we talk to the taxi driver. Taxi driver asked me, how much you gambled, did you win? And I said, I did not gamble, and I didn't lose. And the taxi driver would turn his head back and look at me and goes, you're good. And there's not many people can do that. But as a business owner, you want to be that way. All right. So, how scammers operate. So social engineering tactics, and they are very sophisticated. They know how to emotionally manipulate you to trust them. So you don't want to underestimate scammers. They are scientists. They are good. But you want to recognize that, don't fall into their trap. They're professionally trained. They have a professional scripts better than what you can write. Okay? And they actually sorted their caller IDs, and they create their fake website, and they target people. They know who they want. They are scientists. All right? Scammers might not even be the best way to call them. They're scientist scammers. They're not just someone standing on the street ask for $5 from you. They are the one in the cloud, ask your life, financial life. Ask to share your wealth. Take it all to them. And they use remote access tools a lot to get to you. So don't allow people to get on your computer. Don't allow people to come to your, social media platform. Don't give them the password, right? They target specific people, especially elderly. They are the biggest group of people being scammed regularly, and immigrants too. And the small business owners is also a good target because they can send you a fake invoice. You got so scared and you just pay. You got an IRS invoice with the IRS seals on it, and you just pay. And you got someone, now you know how the situation out there is. So when someone come over to your house and raided you, and they wear normal clothes, they get a normal van parked outside, they just come to raid you and to take you to the van, I really say to our business owner that you at least need to verify they're not fake. What if they're fake? What if they're a terrorist organization? They're not. It's ICE, right? You need to really make sure that you're cool-headed and ask right questions. All right, case study. And this is in 2016. U.S. authorities uncovered a massive scam ring operating outside of Mumbai. And the fraudsters posed as an IRS agent, threatening victims with arrest unless they pay back taxes. Right? Yeah, that really happened. I even dealt with one of those. But I had fun in the process of doing it, but not our elderly citizens. Don't think they can. They know how. And there are so many victims, 15,000. $300 million was collected. This is kind of make me thinking, people owe IRS money. But if this fraudsters claiming to arrest them and get a little scary, they collect $300 million? That's just wrong. Why is our taxpayer has to be threatened to pay? I mean, IRS got to develop a better way to collect the money other than letting these people to test the power, the threatening, the way we deal with people and the works. They just got so scared to pay your taxes. And it's just, ironic. I don't know how to think about that. I just think they made so much money by just impersonating as an IRS agent. Of course, even well-informed individual can fall victim under the pressure. So you want to make sure IRS always give you extended timeline. If this is the first time they encountered you and you could not answer or don't know what to do, there's never, ever IRS will say that, no, it's due today, it's due right now. Never. So knowing that our government is not act like these fraudsters, they are different. So if you feel different, maybe they're not real, okay? Technical support scam is targeting small businesses. There's a lot of that, okay? A UK-based small business received a call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft Security. Then they were asked for £8,000 ransom to get their computer files. Otherwise, they don't get it. So those are the tech support scams. But the reason they can do that to you is because you accepted their invitation. They could never get to your computer without you okay it. So that is where our awareness need to be there, right?
How to protect your business. There's a couple of points I want to give you because our audience are small businesses, our audience are businesses, medium-sized businesses. So I want to say that you need to educate your employee, right? To have them being educated, be aware, because employees are the one operating on behalf of the company. If they are lacking the knowledge, they could be the window for the scammers to come in. And I have a real example from my own business, and we have a staff, and went on to lunch while the bank account, our company's bank account, not clients, luckily, and is our company's bank account was open because we were doing ACH and things like that. So before she went on lunch, the screen froze. So she decided, oh, just take a break. I'm going for lunch. I come back, the screen will come back. By the time she came back, our account was already wired 3 times. The first time, $900 some thousand, and we don't have that money in the account, so it's not going. The second time is $500 some thousand. We also don't have that much money in the bank account, so it did not go. The third time was $120,000. We did have that balance in that bank, so it went. It went to this called the Big Great British Company. It went all the way to London. So when she came back, discovered the bank account was zeroed out, and the 3 wires went out. But at that time, she couldn't tell whether the 900 went out, the 500 went out, the 120 went out. It looks like it all went out. So she got really panicked and called. And I remember that day, and me and my husband, we were on the road to go to Canada. We were not even in town. So in the middle of nowhere between Iowa and Michigan, and we got the call. And we have to call the bank, and I won't mention the bank, name of the bank. So we called the bank, reported. The bank had made us sign a document saying that if you don't get the money back, you cannot sue the bank. Do I have a choice? No, I have to sign. So I am on the line to lose the $120,000. So I signed. The bank started chasing that money. Guess how long I got that money back? 6 months later. I was so sick over this. So I lost $120,000 for 6 months, and at the end of the 6 months, great news. I got back 110. 120 went. I lost $12,000, so 108. I got back majority of the money. That $12,000 I lost are the foreign exchange, because the money went from here to Canada at the TD Bank. So converted to Canadian, then converted to pound, and then from there come back to Canada and come back to US. So I lost the foreign currencies in between. That's $12,000. Folks, that's a real story. That is something I learned. So I tell my staff, if the computer hang up, you know what you do? Unplug the electricity. Don't even bother with anything else. Just unplug the electricity. That will cut off the scammers, right? So, but I didn't tell my staff to do that at that time. We didn't know. So educating your employees is so important, right? Implement technical safeguards. Yeah, now multi-authentication process in our firm everywhere. So we have to sign in with multi-ways to verify you are you. So these are technical things we put in to prevent anyone to coming into our computer, right? And then we also established internal protocols, so require due approval on transactions, right? So those are the things we follow these things, and we want you to do that too, business owner. You want to make sure that for anything through third party, you want internal guardrails to prevent that to be done, to prevent that to have issues. So, I'm thinking about, securities and data securities. the airplane President Trump got. I don't know how sophisticated the security is. So maybe it's not even safe to ride in it. Maybe, it has a time bomb in there. So I'm worried about his safety. And, these are the things internally we need to be sensitive to the business needs, right? And monitor and audit regularly of your financial transactions and the IT system. This is where I say that for small business owners, did you look at your credit card charges on a regular basis? Oh yeah, I know you're doing so well, and you earn big bucks, and $32,000 means nothing to you. I understand all that, but it's not about that $32,000. It's about you open the gate for bigger wrongs to happen, right? So that is really, things need to be prevented when they're small. We always say that the dam could fall if there is a little mice coming through it, right? It's just little things can make this huge damage for the structures, not even just, you lost some dollars, some millions. Of course, the regulatory body also try to catch up. They're trying to make sure that, we have these rules and regulations to prevent data to be stolen like I was describing. So the government is cracking down on scams operations for sure. Our government, United States government, is cracking down on the spam operation inside and out. They go to India to crack them down, right? We need to make our cybercrime law and more tightly guarded. So this is the Federal Trade Commission and Department of Justice are pursuing scam-related cases and cracking down on these illegal acts. I think, in my opinion, the amount of energy we put on immigration side of work, that should be put on cybersecurity. That is actually even more important because you got immigrants here. They are the workforce. You got your cybercrime going on. They're not your workforce. They're taking your wealth every day. So in United States, strengthening cybercrime laws are priority. But I did not hear anything in this big, beautiful bill. It's not there. It's not there. So business-specific legal protections, data protection regulations, and I just want you to know that, they call that General Data Protection Regulation. This is by European Union. And they are putting this regulation together to regulate businesses. Like if you are in business collecting data from consumers, that GDPR organization has requirement for business to fulfill. The California Consumer Privacy Act is listed as an example for people to see how this kind of regulation and the law that California put in place that gives people in California more right over their personal information. So those are the examples in the practice world. In Canada, it's called PIPEDA, PIPEDA, and this particular law is also protecting consumer information. It's called Personal Information Protection and Electronic Document Act. This is Canadian, and they also have that in place to safeguard information and stop spammers and scammers from invading information properties in Canada. So key takeaway, these scammers are not isolated incidents, they are organized. That's the thing, they are organized, okay? So you don't want to brush them off as if it's not going to happen to you. And if you fall into their demographics, you will be targeted. Awareness is your first line of defense. So we are doing the first line of defense today, right here, right now, to make you aware of these are scientists. These are scientists producing ways to scam you, to rob you without guns, without a face mask. They're just do it and you voluntarily coordinating for that robbery. So be aware. Scams are evolving. Our intelligence, they are becoming so smart. They know what you are thinking. These are AI generated images of your friend and being, tied up on the chair and with blood dripping from their face and begging you to send $50,000 over right away. Don't tell anybody, otherwise you'll be killed. That AI scam. Of course, does that in real world really happen? I don't know. In my movies it happens, but movies and the things on internet sometimes is based on real stories. So that's how much I can give you. I'm very fortunate. I myself in my personal life, I have never had an experience that related to criminal side of things. So this is what, when I was young, I was selecting careers and I want to go to law school. And my dad said to me, no, you don't go to law school because you will be seeing the dark side of society rather than the positive side of society. I want you to go to accounting school. So you just go there counting other people's money. And then the law school, but in reality, there's lawyers don't get involved with criminal defense side of work. But my dad at that time didn't understand that fully. So that's what was given to me. So I went to accounting school. So I've been counting other people's money ever since, But I hope that I'm considering myself successfully counting other people's money in the way when I count their money, I also tell them how to create more. So isn't that a beautiful job? So all right. So this is how we're gonna end our webinar today. I like to give you some stories of our clients. Some of them I already mentioned to you. Like won $3 million in lottery. Remember that one? Yeah, that's $3.5 million. They need to pay $3,500 on processing. Spam. It's a spam. Get an email from mom says that she lost in the foreign country. This is our client. The mom went to Thailand, so she got that email. And I was able to help her because mom is not here, the business is here. So when she come over to do business, and she's like, Ying, Auntie Ying, help me. My mom had this message to me. Do you think it's a spam? Is it real? I couldn't get a hold of her, so that's kind of it's turned out to be a spam. And I borrow money from a lender and the signed loan document. And do you know that lender? And that's not a criminal lender, right? It's not a made-up lender, and you're signing and you're paying origination fees. Yeah, we have client did that. Paid 1% of the loan amount to a fake lender online. Never got the money, and now if you go and lender is no longer there. Urgent payroll processing is another big scam for CPA firms. Someone will call the firm, goes, I'm new to you. I want to set up a payroll processing account with you. We have 35 employees we need to pay, and please help me. So what does the CPA firm do? They get the information, they open up the payroll account, they're asking them to pay money and, asking for I-9 and W-4. And this person goes, it's so urgent, I'll give that to you. Can you process that anyway right now? And, do that for me. Some firms fell for that. Should never do. How could you processing any payroll without employee information, I-9 and W-4? And how could you not ask the employer to show you their information to know it is a legitimate company, right? So those are real story. Real story, people fall for that. Tax dues, this one, a lot of people had seen it. So they give you a portion of the tax due saying that if you pay today, all the taxes are gone. IRS is having a nice promotion. And don't believe in that. IRS is not that nice. They never do promotion. They just want their money. If you owe, and just pay it. Okay? You come to us, we can work on waiving penalty if it is legit. We actually have a client with $150,000 penalty, and we're working so hard for her trying to get that waived because it's not her fault. Okay, so those are the things we can help. But if you owe IRS money, don't wait for a windfall, and you just pay, because that's what needs to be done. And nowadays, and starting from May this year, and the people who owes the federal student loan, and you know that is coming back on to you, right? It was told that you don't need to pay anymore for a long time, but now Trump administration put that on the table, and is your debt, you pay. That's how they said it. So again, don't fall into the spam call by telling you that, well, Donald Trump just wrote me a personal note saying that you should be giving discount for that money you owe. Do you believe that? No. You just go ahead, pay it, because that's what they decided to do. That's the rule and the regulation, right? All right. Our partners at Community CPA are superhumans. I tell you they're superhumans because they work hard, they have high integrity, and they are here for nothing but you. They are here to help you grow your business. And trust me, you can say the situation is hard, the sales is down. You can say whatever you want to say about business, but I still challenge you. As a hardworking, immigrant-owned business, you find a way through this. You will. You find a way to develop your business to meet the challenge. And you find a way to open up new ways of making money. And Hy-Vee is the grocery store here in Midwest. They started that operation during big Great Recession time, 1932. At that time, all the businesses are closing. Everyone is starving. Things were not selling. Nobody buying. But they started a grocery store at that time. And their slogan at that time is, we are a small store with the best customer service. So find a way. You will. We will. You will. All right? All right. And we open 6 days a week. Catherine at communitycpa.com is your hero because she is the one putting knowledge in the PowerPoint for me, and I follow her guide to prepare and talk to you right here. So I'll see you again on Tuesday. Bye-bye.